I forgot my microphone. I fail. I fail. I fail. That's what I get for trying to be funny. I fail. Every single time I fail. I'm such a failure. A failure. Okay. Nifty, nifty. I just connected it. Is it good? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. I hope you guys can. I think you guys can, but I'm just going to keep talking because it takes a while. After you guys comment, you guys will see the comments before I do. For some reason, it doesn't do it instantaneously. But anyway, I hope you guys have had a good week. I hope you guys have enjoyed your week this week. Spring has begun. It is the beginning of spring. We can say goodbye to winter, except if you're in Wyoming. Oh my God, Rachel is calling. Rachel is calling. Hello?
What a faggot.
Girl, I am on the stream right now. They heard you say that. I'm sorry, what?
Okay, man. What the fuck? Stop all that whining and crying and shit all the time. They hurt you. Oh well. I'll say it again.
I think the pride is happy to hear from you. They say that they actually love you.
They don't. They're liars. They're liars. They're liars and incels. That's who they are.
Oh, you called my pride incels? Girl, okay, bye. Bye. First of all, what you're not going to do is insult my people like that.
Wow, wow, wow.
Come over here. Come over here.
Oh, cry me.
Come say it to my face. Come say it to my face. I bet you won't say it to my face. Come here. Let me call you back because I'm on the stream, okay? They can hear you. And they said pull up. Mr. Renegade said pull up.
Oh. No, you guys are hella mean. Every time I come, you're so mean to me. You just want your trad wife, okay? So you can have her. You don't want me and all of my rigmarole and thoughts of women should have rights and whatever.
Yeah, no. First of all, you shouldn't even be allowed to vote, but whatever. I mean, this is the life that we live. I have to go now. I will talk to you soon.
God bless you.
Happy Easter. Happy Kwanzaa. Bye. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. That is Rachel. And for those who don't know, that's Rachel. Rachel is doing alive and well. She's fine. Hi guys. We want Raquisha. I love you guys so much. We want Raquisha. Hello, Rachel. I genuinely like Rachel. She has issues. Rachel to the naughty corner. I've tried that. I've tried, Thomas. I have really tried to put her in a naughty corner. All she does is write graffiti on it. And I told her I can't have my corner be graffitied. So we have problems with that. But all right. So let's talk about what we're here to talk about, okay? What we were here to talk about is Aaron, you missed something. You should rewind a little bit and then come back after. Okay? You go rewind. Go rewind like 4 minutes. All right, guys. 1 second. Let me cough 1 second. Okay. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about was this. I was searching the tubes, gosh, that sounds wrong. I was searching the tubes and I found many signs of congestion in the tubes. The tubes are very congested. We need to free the tubes of the congestion. And I have many ways, many things that we can put up the tubes to unclog the congestion inside of the tubes, but it's going to be very expensive. Okay, so what I want to talk to you guys about is I was searching on the tubes, and recently, it was actually this morning, as I was searching through the tubes, I'm going to share this video with you. There was this woman who was on the tubes, and she's a former porn star. Former porn star. And she, what is it? Wait, quick question. What makes someone a porn star? Like, if you do the porn, are you automatically a star just because you do it? Or is it that you have to be qualified to be a star? And what makes you a star? Is it the number of people that you've slept with, the quality of people you slept with, how many things you've done? What makes you a star? Are you automatically a star just from doing it? Is what. Anyway, she was a porn worker, I guess. She went online and she wanted sympathy from all the simps. You guys remember what I told you about sympathy, right? When a girl asks for sympathy, she's asking you to simp. So she asked for sympathy because, but I'll let her say it best, because if I say it, it's going to sound very vulgar and I don't want those kind of things coming out of my mouth. So I try to keep my mouth rather clean, you know. I brush my teeth, I brush my tongue, I try not to say bad words. I try to keep it fairly clean. This girl, however, she has no problem keeping it dirty. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the video for you. Here it is. And I saved it the time. Shut up. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry guys for screaming. It's just that every single video that I put, it just starts automatically, and YouTube just, it just lets everything go. YouTube is just all right. I'm gonna share my screen. I am sharing my screen with you all so you all can see what I see. Do you see what I see? All right. Now you see what I see. Here we go.
I have seen fucking. I remember like my first scene where I was going to do my first scene, and I was downstairs and there was a girl doing her scene. She'd just come back after a little while, about 3 or 4 guys, I think it was, back, you know, and she was shitting herself everywhere, man. And they were laughing about it. There was like rabbit droppings on the floor again. Like, I'm just about to do my first scene, you know what I mean? 19-year-old girl. And I literally shit myself, babe. I was like, oh my God.
I mean, are we supposed to feel sorry?
Okay, sorry. I wasn't really trying to share what this guy said about it, because I have my own thoughts about this and I want to share with you. She is a porn person and she said that she was getting ready to do a scene, her first rear scene, you could say. Her first rear scene in corn. And when she was getting ready to do her first scene, she saw the last girl who did her scene before her leave the studio crying and pooping herself everywhere. She was pooping and it was explosive, and the girl was crying because I guess they had done something to her crazy. I'm just, anyway. So she said, I saw that and I was terrified. But you weren't too terrified to not continue to do the scene, because obviously she did the scene after seeing that terrifying scenario happen. So what she's asking for is sympathy. So what she does is put that slow music in the background, that slow, sad music in the background. And because she sheds woman tears, oh my God, I'm so scared. We're supposed to feel sympathy for her. We're supposed to say, you poor thing. I can't believe that you were paid to do such a thing that you continue to do, even though you saw the repercussions of it happen before your eyes. You had a chance to turn around, but you continued. Why did you continue? Why? If you were so scared and it was so terrifying, why didn't you see what happened to the girl before you and get up and leave? Why? Oh, I know. I know, because attention is a hell of a drug. Oh, I know, because money is what matters most in the world. Oh, I know. I know exactly what it is. I was young and dumb. I, am am I wrong? Is that I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So you saw this girl pooping herself, running out of the studio crying, distraught, and the guys were laughing at her after possibly being the cause of this girl's demise and her issue, whatever was happening, her injury. The guys were laughing at her, and you saw those laughing hyena guys with their wankers out, and you proceeded to get there in front of them, pull down your panties, and bend over. I know this is kind of vulgar. I'm sorry. But this is how I see it in my head. You continued to do it even though you saw what was going to happen. And now we're supposed to feel sad for you. That is the industry. And if that is what you did for money, because apparently the money was more worth it, the money is what made you continue to do it. I'm sure that wasn't the only scene that she had done either. So if the money was worth it that much, then shut up. Stop crying. We don't care about your tears. You got paid, didn't you? You got the money that you said. Come on now. Come on. All I'm saying is you do stuff for money and then you feel bad about it later, and now we're supposed to think that you're a victim, and I bet that same woman is going to say, "I was raped. I was raped. I didn't really want to, but you chose." So, do you know something else? Girls like her, these are the type of women that go to those college parties, and then after the college party, they are regretful for the things that they did when they were drunk. And then they'll accuse the boys with scholarships, the boys that are going somewhere in life, they'll accuse them of grape because they regret what they did. And then the boys' lives get ruined. They forever get labeled an assault, assaulter, or whatever the word may be. I'm not going to use the words because YouTube. They get labeled for life, and then you continue your life like a normal person, like nothing ever happened, la la la. And they have to deal with the consequences. This is the type of girl that would do that. This girl that you just saw, the one who's like, I was, oh my gosh, I saw the most horrific scene. And that sad, slow music in the background. I don't even know what the song is saying, but that's what it sounds like to me. And then you want us to what? Send you money to your Cash App? Should we send her money to her Cash App, guys? What was her Cash App? Should we send her some money for her pain and suffering and trauma? Come on now. Right, Nuka. Her logic. I didn't have a choice because money. Because I wanted that moolah, the dinero, the money. That's what I wanted. So I didn't have a choice. I had to. And for that reason, I was raped. They did things to me that I didn't want it to be that way. Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. He says, nah, I'd rather burn my millions than she receiving a dime out of me. Yikes, Midnight Sun. He's like, nah, even if she were on fire, I wouldn't even spit on the fire for her. Not even a drop of spit, not even a drop of sweat would I give. Nope. That's the thing. No, Kami Zombie, you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. It was helping because in the original video there were so many people simping. They were like, you were a young girl, you were put in a weird situation. The porn industry shouldn't exist. It is what is it called? Not exfoliating. Why am I saying exfoliating? Exploiting the porn industry. It exploits young girls, and you were just a mere victim. You're just a victim of the system, or a victim of not having a father. Maybe that is the true victimhood. Maybe that's what it is. You're a victim of not having a father. Maybe you're a victim of a crappy mother who couldn't keep a husband or keep a father long enough for you to grow up. Because you know what? Now I'm starting to understand something. I'm starting to understand why men are so controlling over women. I'm finally starting to realize it, although I've already realized a long time ago. But for the sake of this video, I want to share the reasons that I am understanding now why men are so controlling of women and their sexuality. Throughout the history of time, since the beginning of time, men have always controlled women and their sexuality. And women, during the liberation movement, the first things that they wanted to abolish basically was the control of men over their sexuality and of their bodies and so on and so forth. But where have we gotten since this liberation? Because since this liberation and this women taking control of their bodies and so on and so forth, we have seen nothing but degeneracy, disgusting behavior from women. Reason is, women don't know what's best for them. They don't know what's best for themselves, because you're not going to tell me that women are completely rational, logical creatures that don't need men to help them through life or to control them or to give them a reason why. This is why I say consequences need to be available. And if men are not allowed to make consequences for their women, whether it be in the form of taking away things, divorcing her with no alimony, taking away things, divorcing her, corporal punishments, whatever needs to be done, there needs to be consequences. And since there are no consequences now, we have a generation of women like this, the ones that are just out there, just disgusting behavior. You guys, in the liberation movement, you guys saw women burning their brassieres, their bras, women saying, my body, my choice. I am, a slut, the slut movement. You guys remember the slut movement? Did you guys see that? Where they were like, a woman is not a slut. If a man does the same thing, then he should be a slut too, or no one is a slut. I'm not a slut if I do it, because just because I'm a female, I'm a slut. This is the reason why I say men controlling women is natural, it is proper, and this is the reason why it's happened from the beginning of time, is because of this crap here. Women, when they're left to their own devices, when they're left to their own decisions, they fail every time. And me as a woman, you think I don't feel bad about that? You think I feel good about saying that me and my kind, me and my species fail every single time when we're allowed to make our decisions on our own? I don't feel good about saying that. But truth is truth. That is true. This is the reason why fathers are necessary. They're not an option. Fathers are not an option. They're not one of the extra additives that you can add to a girl's life. That is a necessary thing to have. Dr. M says, I'm of the opinion that women and men like that are both hoes. Listen, I can't agree with you there. The reason I disagree with this statement, and I'm not saying that men who have sex with a bunch of women are good. That's by far not what I'm saying at all. The difference is that women, it is easier for a woman to have sex than it is for a man to have sex. A woman can go outside right now and ask any man on the street if they would like to have a ride, and the majority of them will say yes. A man cannot do the same. A man can't go outside and say, hey, would you like a ride on my pony? And have the majority of women answer, sure. It's not the same. This does not work the same. This is why I said, what did it say? The saying, a key that can open many locks is a master key, but a lock that is opened by many keys is just a crappy lock. Because it takes skill for a man. It takes more work. It takes effort. He has to make something of himself for women to want to throw themselves at him. He has to do something that makes him attractive. Women are naturally desired, so you go outside and you just expose yourself to the world. You're going to get many men that are willing to lay down with you. They won't marry you. They won't take you home. They won't take care of you. They won't pay your bills, but they will take you for a ride for a night. And this is why I say sluts are worse than men who have sex with many women. A slut is a lot worse because a slut is just a lazy woman with no you could say with no discernment. You could say a woman that is just open for any pony, open for any pony to come along, and that's it's a lot worse to me. So that's why I say there's a difference. Men who are promiscuous, or you could say men who have sex with a lot of women, they are also bad, but just not as bad to me. Oh, D14 says a receptacle. A receptacle. That's disgusting. That's disgusting because you know how it looks like? It's like when you go to a public bathroom, right? There are public bathrooms and a woman who is just letting every man have a turn. It's like a public bathroom. That's what she's like. Everybody leaves their DNA on her or in her or whatever. Gross. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. And the thing about women's anatomy, I know this is going to be a little bit of a rough topic, guys. I'm sorry. But the thing about a woman's anatomy is that a woman is she receives. The woman receives, the man gives. I know use your imaginations when I'm talking about this. We all know about the anatomy of men and women, but a woman receives. So if a woman is receiving, and you're receiving from many, many different hoses out there, and you're receiving, you are collecting the DNA of all these men. That stuff is going to be inside of you. That is not, that's disgusting, because women later have to birth children, and you're going to birth a child through, okay. Women, I know, Nuka, I know. I'm sorry we had to get into that, but he asked a question. I wasn't the one. But and STDs, DO, hi DO, and STDs, yes, and the good old STDs, the good old visits to the doctor. Oh gosh, Yakub, stop! Ew, stop, Yakub. Go to the naughty corner now. Just goat cheese. Oh my gosh, I know I say that, but in this way, doesn't sound good at all to say it with this context. Because all I could think about is all the different types of cheeses that will be created. It won't be pure goat cheese anymore. It's going to be like a mix of like blue cheese, which is moldy, a mix of ricotta, which is smelly, a mix of... Oh, okay. All right, I'm done. I am done with that topic. We shall move on. The thing that I wanted to talk about alongside of this topic was I cannot tell you guys enough that men are so important. Fathers are so important. It is the reason why we see a lot of this is because a woman had sex with a man, got pregnant, and a lot of the times she was so insufferable that the man woke up one day and said, you know what? F it. I can't deal with you any longer. So now I'm leaving you and the kid. Not because I hate the kid, but because I can't stand the likes of you. And it would be okay if the man were allowed to take the child with. But a lot of times the court forces the child to stay with mother in order to have, visitation and relationship with the child. You got to deal with the mother and all her nonsense. And a lot of men just say, screw it. I'm not going to deal with this. I'll talk to the kid when she's 18. When she or he is 18, I'll deal with the child then. But until then, I'm not dealing with this because I'm going to end up killing her or myself, one thing is going to happen and I don't want to deal with it. So a lot of times these girls grow up and they suffer because their mother was so insufferable. And then they grow up being just like the mother because that's all they know. And then the cycle continues. Then she meets a guy and then she gets pregnant and then and this is why I believe a lot of these women are victims, but they are victims of not what they think. They are victims of having poor mothers who were too insufferable to even keep a man. You weren't even able to keep a man long enough to raise a child. And no one's going to tell me, no, it's the men, Amira. You think men are angels? You think men are saints? Men are constantly cheating. They're always doing things. They're so ungrateful to the woman that blah, blah, blah. Women have been the glue of families for centuries. Women have been the one to grit their teeth and take it for the sake of the family for centuries. And the women of today who say, I will not be like my auntie and live my whole life for a man and then blah, 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 go old with regret. They don't understand the the necessity of that. They don't understand that women have been the glue of families for centuries. Did you guys even, a lot of you guys already know, but even in royal families, the reason why having daughters was a good thing was because when you had a daughter, you could marry her off to another kingdom and then create good relations with that kingdom, with, like, say, Ireland and in England, Ireland and England, right? They marry the daughter off to the duke of this or the prince of this, and just through that marriage, it created a diplomacy, not diplomacy. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? The relationship between the countries improved. Why? Because there was a marriage between these two nations. There was a marriage. So that's why I said, like, women have been the glue of families for centuries. And the women of today being so selfish and just so all about themselves. And then not only that, then asking for sympathy for the stuff that they chose to do. You chose to pull down your panties and do a scene with your rear end in the air and get paid for it. You chose that. So whatever happened after that, don't come to me crying that your booty hurts. I don't care. That you got paid, didn't you? For those that are just entering, I'm sorry that you guys have to come in at such a weird moment. I promise that this is not the majority of the stream. This is just a part. Okay, this is just a section, and you just came in at the wrong time. You got paid. You got paid for it. So don't come running to me that your booty is sore and that you're a victim. Welcome everybody to Exile Lioness number 3, because number 2 has been disabled temporarily for some technological improvements. So, do you guys want to get to the list? We can get to the list. Let's just. I think the list is the best thing that we can do right now. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Aaron. I am. I am embarrassed about this conversation. American Patriot. I imagine maybe one reason the court wants the women to have the children in a divorce could be because they are likely to make more money from the men than. Yes, yes. And that has been known, that the courts are making money from that. This is the reason why they put them, so they can have, of course, the government arm is, the government is so greedy that the government can't even see money going from a man to a woman without saying, I need my cut of that too. I need, no, tax that too. I need some of that too. Yeah, that is the reason why. And it's not even a tax. It's more like and I don't even get me started on child support. I don't even want to get started on it, because I'm going to have a full rant on child support in a second. And I want us to have a stream separate for that. You know what I mean? I don't want the child support topic to take over this full stream. So let's make a stream especially dedicated to child support one day. One of these days, we'll just talk about that. And we'll talk about alimony at the same time. We can talk about alimony, child support, spousal support, everything. We can talk about all those things together in one stream. But this stream is talking about rear end Diddy bopping. Diddy bopping. You guys have been seeing what's been going on with that, haven't you? Well, oh, how the tables turn, right? But I tell you, this is not the end. Everybody knows it's not the end. I don't even have to say that to you guys, right? You guys know this isn't the end, right? Shh. You guys know this isn't the end. This is not the end because this happening is going to expose everybody who's had any kind of relationship with the Diddy Bop. Ooh, it's gonna be, oh my gosh, it's gonna be glorious. And you know, Jay-Z has to be crapping himself right now. He, you know, poor Beyonce. But then again, I don't like her either. Did he do it? What didn't he do? What didn't he do? What are you saying? No, come on, guys. Listen, when I think about, anytime I think about booty bandits, anytime I think about backdoor loving, anytime I think about, oh, I diddy bop, everybody do the diddy bop. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll get back to it. So let's do Larry's list, shall we? I know, Mr. Renegade, right? Right? Oh my gosh. Cat Williams at the beginning of the year came out on Shannon Sharp's show and said, or his live stream, he came out on his live stream and said, mark my words, the year 2024 is the year of truth. It is the year of exposing. This is the expose year where everybody, all secrets will be brought to the light. And he has not been lying. Ever since he said that, things have been like boom, 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 boom. He even mentioned Diddy in the stream with Shannon Sharp. He mentioned it. I love this so much. Look, I am, and you know the thing is, he said this is the year of truth, that when P. Diddy invites you to a party, you just have to say no. When P. Diddy says, do you want a party? You have to say no. Because what Diddy wants is not what you're Diddy bop, Diddy bop. Oh, you think, okay, she knew what was going on. I believe that this was going on even before him and her were married. You know what I mean? So even if she didn't know at the moment of the marriage, she knew and she still stayed. So she's guilty too. You know, they were on Epstein's list, don't you? They were on the Epstein list. So they're not as innocent as we want to make them out to be. Do you think that P. Diddy is being sacrificed? Let me ask you guys. Because every couple of years, usually on election years, a person is sacrificed, right? Do you guys remember when the Cuomos were sacrificed? And then Epstein sacrificed? Do you guys think P. Diddy is being sacrificed at the altar of Hollywood or the altar of the music industry because we need to divert the attention from something else to him? And P. Diddy has been getting all the attention the last couple of days. So do you guys believe that we are being bamboozled into looking at Diddy when there's actually a bigger villain behind all of it? But who would be the bigger villain, right? Who are we talking about? Because Diddy, from what we know, was pretty much the music industry mogul. I mean, up on the tier of Dr. Dre. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. Sierra says yes, but he's also guilty. Well, that Sierra, I don't doubt that at all. I definitely think that I know he's guilty of a lot. You guys have all seen the videos circulating with him and children and Justin Bieber. Poor Justin Bieber. I feel so bad for him now because what parent would give their young 15-year-old boy with a skater boy haircut to, now this, it sounds racist, but it's not. It's not racist because my question is, what would this little white boy be doing with all this whole group of black men? She, whoever the parent was, gave her son, her little white boy son with the skater haircut, screaming, or not screaming, singing, baby, baby, baby. And you give that to a group of black men that don't have anything to do with that even music genre. Okay. P. Diddy didn't even make songs like that. So what would be the reason to leave your son with the skater boy haircut and the I don't understand what the parents were doing. I really don't. It's not, it sounds racist when I say it, but it's not racist because I don't understand. He wouldn't be learning any music things from them. He's not going to, they're not, okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Piper treatment. Justin was a minor, correct. He was 15. And even at 15 years old, he was on a radio show, and the lady, which is like all of 45-year-old woman, talking to Justin Bieber, the first question she asked him was this: "So, Bieber, so awesome to have you here. So, let me ask you, when are we going to get any sex talk from you? You've been very, very secretive about this. Do you want to give us a little bit of sex talk?" I'm not joking when check it out yourselves. Those exact words. "So, when are we going to have any sex talk?" Justin Bieber responded more maturely than all the adults in the room. He said, "Why would you ask a 15-year-old boy for sex talk? What do you think that I can offer you?" Justin Bieber at 15 said that. I'm like, Justin Bieber, he knew what was going on and he did not want to be abused. He didn't want that. So his parents, they're the ones responsible, and they should be held accountable. They need to be held accountable because Justin Bieber hasn't been the same. If you guys know anything about Justin Bieber, I don't really follow any of these stars or artists, what have you. But man, you can look at Justin Bieber's eyes. You can tell something happened. He said Bieber was kind of based. That wasn't on my 2024 being a car. Yeah. That's crazy. Exactly, Zealage. What's wrong with these people? Another incident. He was getting on the award show. He was on an award show, and the lady, the host, he came out, and he was like 16 at this time, and she grabbed him from the back. So this is her arm, and I'm Bieber. She grabbed him from the back like this, and held his neck this way, kissed him on his neck, turned his head down, and started kissing him and biting him on the back of his neck in front of everyone. And then she squenched his butt, squeezed his butt like that in front of the whole world. And everyone laughed and applauded because, oh, it's so cute. Because he's so adorable. But had it been a man doing that to a 15, 16-year-old girl, come on now. Come on. His parents need to be brought up on charges. His parents are the ones responsible for whatever happened to him. And Usher. You guys already know about Usher as well. I'm sure you guys already know about Usher and Diddy. And even Usher has come out and said what happened. Diddy has a summer camp. Oh my God. I don't even want to talk. Because the more I talk about this, the more I think. So they blame Michael Jackson. They talked about Michael Jackson all the time, how Michael Jackson was such a pedo because he had theme park at his house and he had all these things that kids like, but that's because Michael Jackson was a kid himself. He was a kid even when he was 50. P. Diddy, there's nothing kiddish about P. Diddy. There's nothing kiddie about him. He is a grown man that likes sex a lot, likes orgies and all these things, and you're having these children around him. This is not the same thing as even Michael Jackson, but yet they made Michael Jackson seem like this awful perv, and he was just, I don't know whether you guys believe Michael Jackson did it or not. I don't believe personally that he did it. I really don't, because I just can't. I don't believe he did that, because it looked to me like Michael Jackson was asexual. He looked like an asexual individual. Nobody in their mind will look at Michael Jackson and say, he's getting freaky at night. Even when he had a wife or a girlfriend, you would never even think that about him because he just doesn't have that. I don't know. I mean, everybody has differing opinions, of course, about this, but You've heard mine. I would love to hear yours. D14 says MJ never went through puberty since he was castrata. He had an immature mind all of his life, and that's why his thoughts were pure. That's how I feel too. Because if you see his life, he didn't live life like a man. He wasn't a man. He was a child. Oh, Aaron. Aaron says, "Oh my goodness, I was just thinking of MJ as you were talking about the beefs." Exactly. Exactly. I know I'm not the only one who connects these things. Mm. Oh, I see. Dex says, "I saw this on my TL yesterday. They've been weird to him from the beginning of time." I know. I know. Usher and Quincy Jones. I don't know who Quincy Jones is. I don't believe I do. 3G says he should have sued her. That's all they understand. Or I think that's what you're trying to say. I think he should have sued her. Did they frame Michael Jackson? I believe so because everybody wanted some of that money. I mean, come on. I listen. I know this sounds bad, but those parents who sent their kid to be with Michael Jackson and Forever Everland and all that, come on, come on. What is the easiest way to get money from him? Oh, say he touched you. Say he touched you. Oh my God, Michael Jackson touched me. Now they're gonna get money, extort Michael Jackson, and then ruin his name. Come on, guys. What is the easiest way to fame and fortune? Come on, just accuse somebody of doing something. Fix says MJ was a weirdo. He definitely was weird, but you would be weird too if you went through the same thing that he went through. You'd be weird too. You'd have your nose cut up the same way he did. All right, let me see. Sierra says Diddy's suspicious head of security was in the room with the doc when MJ was killed. No, no, that can't be true. Sierra, is that true? Larry, can you look that up, please? Larry, Larry, look it up, please, if you can. Mr. Renegade says it was said that he created Neverland Ranch because he felt like he never had a childhood and he was living it vicariously through other children. I I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. What does Michael Jackson like about 29-year-olds? There are 20 of them. Oh, it took me a minute to get that, but stop it. Stop it. Guys, stop doing that. You will not, what you won't do is insult Michael Jackson on my channel. Okay. That's what we won't do. Okay. Michael Jackson, no. Stop it. But anyway, are you guys ready? Hi, old blindy. Put me in a naughty corner? No, you got to be naughty in order to get to the naughty corner now. I only put people there when they misbehave. If you misbehave, you will be sent straight to the naughty corner. But until then, you're going to stay here with us. Kami Zombie says, yep, he was 100% there. Same guy. Oh. These circles are very small, aren't they? These circles of people are very small. When we think about it, we're all like, oh, there's so many people. Oh, the celebrities meet so many people. Actually, they don't. They all meet the same people. They just pass each other around, isn't it? And the reason for that is because everybody in the circle has already had an agreement that they won't say certain things and they already have dirt on one another. So that's the reason why you don't go outside of the circle of the celebrity groups, because when you go outside of the circle, it gets dangerous. Hence why celebrities all have the same circle of people. They date one another. They have the same heads of securities. They have the same stylists and people, because it's too dangerous to add a new person into the group, into the circle, isn't it? Dex says he feels like it was an inside job and the doctor only got like 5 years jail time. Larry says yes, he was. Okay, Larry, it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed. Zealage. Hey, fist bump to you, Amira. Much respect. All right. Thank you. All right, guys, ready? All right, here we go. Let's go. Oh, old blindy said it's my false accusation. Oh, it was a false accusation against me. Stop it. False accusations don't work with me, because if you accuse me falsely, I will do it. Whatever you accuse me of, I might as well just do it at that point. Okay, let's see the Larry's list. Larry, thank you so much for providing us with this lovely list like you do every week. I appreciate it. Let's go. Here we go. Oh, let me take a look at it first. Larry. Larry, I told you that 5 was fine and more than 5 is okay, but you just, every time I tell you this, there's 7 pages. Oh my gosh. Larry. All right. You guys want to start with LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everything sick? You guys want to start with that this time? I know we usually don't start with it, but I figured let's just get the hard part out of the way. Let's just do that. Let's let's do that. Hard part out of the way. Let's go. Now, all right, here we are. LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everything sick news. Joe Biden has declared Easter Sunday the National Trans Day of Visibility. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was just an instinctual. My God. Okay, got it. Oh. Biden is once again facing backlash for a bad decision. This time, he declared that Easter Sunday will also become the quote unquote Transgender Day of Visibility. The White House garnered more backlash by banning religious imagery and design submissions from children of military families participating in the traditional Easter egg roll event. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson accused Biden of quote unquote betrayal, the central tenet of Easter. While Biden, who is Catholic, which we all know how the Catholics do. Sorry, anybody who's Catholic sorry, I'm like, that's your people. You guys, Catholics, that's your people. All right, so Biden, who is Catholic, attacked Republicans for passing hateful laws and stressed that trans Americans are a part of the fabric of our nation. Biden finished his speech by saying, and I quote, "Today, we send a message to all transgender Americans. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. You belong. You are America. And my entire administration and I have your back." Don't say that to those people, but Joe Biden, don't say that to the fags. Don't say that, because when you say that to the fags, they're going to take something else out of it. When you tell them that you got their back, they're going to say, "Oh, hey, you got our backs. Oh, let me help you." No, don't. Joe Biden. Well, you know what? Maybe Joe Biden actually likes that. I guess Hunter didn't get it from nowhere. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. That wasn't that bad. It wasn't really that bad. Thank you so much, Larry, for not giving me a difficult article this week. God knows I need a easy week. I need an easy week at this point because, oh my gosh, it has been very, very rough lately. Okay, let me tell you. It has been very, very rough. I have been bleaching my skin in order to get away from the rough section of America. Okay. All right, here we go. In politics, our first article, New York Governor Kathy Hochul was confronted at the deceased officer's wake. 10 minutes after arriving at the second day of wake of a fallen police officer, New York Governor Kathy Hochul was confronted by a man who angrily told her to leave. The confrontation earned the man a series of claps from his fellow mourners. To make matters worse for Hochul, she was confronted by the officer's 29-year-old widow and the rest of the officer's grieving family. Sources say that the governor discussed progressive policies with the grieving family. Why would you discuss progressive policies with a grieving family? As if the last thing that they want to hear is catch and release, just like fish. That's the new policy. I'm sorry your husband is dead. I'm sorry he died, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to catch and release from now on. All right. So, to make matters worse for Hochul, she was confronted by the officer's 29-year-old widow and the rest of the officer's grieving family, and sources say that the governor discussed progressive policies with the grieving family, including the controversial bail reform law that is being blamed on the officer's death. Did I just read that? Did I just read what I think I just read? You know what? This might be worse than the LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everything sick news. I need something to throw. Did I just read what I think? Sometimes my glasses fail me. No. Oh, no. Okay. I was joking when I said, oh, okay, well, there it is. There it is. The governor discussed progressive policies with the grieving family, including the controversial bail reform law that is being blamed on the officer's death. Hochul's visit came one day after Donald Trump's 40-minute visit with the family on the day of the wake. As for the man who initially confronted Governor Hochul, he said, "We don't want you here. You are not wanted here. You have blood on your hands. If you want to do something, change the bail laws." What do you guys think about that? I'm reading your guys' comments. Oh, all right. Yeah, exactly, Fix. Exactly. Yeah, I did. Exactly, Yakub. Unfortunately, I read it right. Exactly, Aaron. Shameful. Pitiful. All right, next. Let's move on. Let me go back to the articles. Okay, next article we have. The Biden administration swears that it's putting America first in the face of Mexico's demands. White House officials want Americans to believe that America is their first priority and highlighted a constructive relationship with Mexico following a list of demands from Mexican President Obrador. What are his demands? Well, I got that for you. I have the demands right here in my list of crappy demands. The demands are the lifting of sanctions on Venezuela and Cuba for starts, followed by a $20 billion per year aid to Latin American and Caribbean countries. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. All right. Wait, is Haiti a part of the Latin American / Caribbean countries? Is that where we're going? Is that where we're going? Because I have a feeling that this has something to do with Haiti. All right, I'm not okay. Wait. All right. The demands. The lifting of sanctions on Venezuela and Cuba for starters, you can say starters or starts, followed by a $20 billion per year in aid to Latin American and Caribbean countries. $20 billion. How convenient. How is that's just a small fraction of the money that we give to Ukraine. That's nothing. Trust me, Obrador, Mexican president. That's nothing. Trust me, you're being rather kind and not asking for too much because America has plenty of money to spare. We do. We have plenty of money and plenty of space. So bring all the. Let me get back to the article because I know I'm going to start ranting. Obrador is also demanding legal status for all Mexican illegal aliens residing in the United States. When interviewed on 60 Minutes concerning these demands, the reporter asked, and I quote, "If they don't do the things that you've said need to be done, then what?" Obrador responded, did you really say that? Oh, I knew, see, I freaking knew that he's the one who wanted this to happen. Did you really say that? Okay, hold on. The reporter asked, and if they don't do, talking about America, if America doesn't do the things that you've said need to be done, then what? The Mexican president responded, "The flow of migrants will continue if you don't do as I asked." Maybe we are at war. Maybe we are at war with Mexico. Maybe we need to, we really need to, all right. Um, mm, all right. Oh, these people are so bold. That's what happens when America is weak. This is the thing that happens when America is no longer feared. Mexican presidents come out their mouths like this. Respect yourself, Mexico. Respect yourself. Why you don't respect yourself? Huh? Habibi, respect for yourself. That is the hummus of life. That is the the thing that is needed. You cannot live without the respect for yourself. Habibi, respect yourself and your nation. Your people are running from your country like roaches when the lights come on, and you are using that as a threat. You are using this as a threat. Habibi, this is not looking good for you. It does not look good for you. I don't know what you think, eh? I don't know what you think you look like. This is not a threat. This is looking very bad. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Let me all right. Let all right. Yeah, exactly. Those are fighting words, 3G. All right. Wait. Let's go back. There's a second part to this. There's a second part. Following Obrador's interview, a White House Secretary Council spokesperson declared Mexico to be a quote unquote important partner on multiple areas, including the fight against immigration or migration and drug trafficking. The spokesperson also called Mexico an important economic partner. My arse. My arse. We could do just fine without them. We would do just fine without Mexico. Do you guys know that? We would do just fine. In fact, better. Probably even better. We won't have your drugs. We won't have your cartel with your little gangsters coming over here. We won't have no salvatruchas. I'm sorry, that's Salvador, I know. But we won't have none of this stuff. We won't have to be having, oh, press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish. No, we won't have none of that. You can keep it. Keep it. We don't need them. What do you mean they're an important economic partner? They are draining us. They are a drain, a leech. They take our money and send it back to their country every. Press 1 for English. Para español, oprima dos. No, we don't need that. We really don't need it. We really don't. You can keep your cartel, your little gangsters, your little orale homes. You can keep them. Oh, he's an important economic partner. It was noted by the spokesperson that the Biden administration's strategy includes handling the root causes of illegal immigration, whilst Also, developing a pathway to citizenship for the illegal aliens and improving regional enforcement. Leave it to the hands of the Texans. We'll have this problem finished in a month. Give it to the hands of the Cowboys. They'll have this finished in a month. America will be better off for it. All right. We have a third part to this article. So, what are the details of Biden's plan to tackle illegal immigration? Green cards. Green cards, of course. Green cards for everyone. You get a green card. I get a green card. We all get a green card. It was reported that Biden is considering issuing out green cards to up to 4,000 illegal aliens facing deportation if they have been in America illegally for 10 years and have not been convicted of a serious crime. What is a serious crime? What is a serious crime? Because any kind of crime means that you took taxpayer dollars in order to see what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. Because there is a fine print. As long as it wasn't a serious crime, you can stay. What is a serious crime? In addition, the illegal alien must be of a good moral character. You broke the law to get to our nation. How are you of good moral? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. The illegal alien must be of good moral character and make the case that they, quote unquote, would suffer exceptionally and extremely unusual hardship if they were sent back home. The idea was floated to Biden by the Justice Department's Executive Office for Immigration Review back in September of last year. Fix, thank you for saying it so I don't have to, because you know I wouldn't say it, but thank you for taking the words out of my mouth. I appreciate that. Yeah, it must be talking about misgendering. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that really solves everything, doesn't it? Yep, Zelich. That's exactly the solution that the American people were looking for. That is what we were all hoping for. That's what we want. And this is the reason why most people are going to vote for Trump come this year. Next article. The SCOTUS allows Texas the SB4 law, and Mexico is pissed about it. SB4 allows Texas to arrest people suspected of entering the United States illegally through the state's border. I love hearing good news after hearing a bunch of crap. I love hearing some good news. SB4 allows Texas to arrest people suspected of entering the U.S. illegally through the state's border. While many Texans and Americans at large are happy about the SCOTUS ruling in favor of Texas, Mexico is fuming. Oh, poor Mexico. I'm so torn up. They must be quivering in their boots. They must be quivering in their alligator boots. I can't imagine how stressful this must be for them to know that America is not allowing entry through America's most base state, Texas. Yikes, that must be very devastating. The Mexican government contends that the law will cause illegal aliens to gather in Mexico in violation of their sovereign rights and security. They also believe that the law allows Texas authorities to discriminate against anyone who is or has the appearance of being a Latin. Okay, wait. They're saying that the Mexican government says that the law from Texas will cause illegal aliens to gather in Mexico. Why are you, let me get this straight. You don't want Texas to enforce laws that will clean up their border on their state side because You don't want the people who are using Mexico as a pathway to America to get stuck in your nation. You don't want them to get stuck in your country. So all those Haitians, all those people from all over the world, let's be real, even those Chinese, okay, even the Chinese that are coming through Mexico. So you don't want them to get stuck in your country, right? You don't want them to get stuck on their way to America. You'd rather, oh, I see, I see. You want your country to be just a mere stepping stone to the gates of America, right? You don't want to take them on. You don't want to have to take care of those people, right? You don't want to have to take care of those Asians, of those other Latinos, of those Guatemalans, of those Venezuelans, of those Haitians. You don't want to take care of them, right? You want to make sure they get pushed into America in a nice, even, steady flow. Up yours, Mexico. Up yours. Are you? Mm. Oh my gosh. I wish I drank alcohol. These are times where if I were an alcohol drinker, I would be chugging a bottle of Corona. Wait, no. What is the bottle? No. What is the alcohol called? Gosh. Whatever the alcohol is, gin, schmin, whatever it is, I would be chugging whatever it is. All right. So Mexico contends that the law will cause illegal aliens to gather in Mexico in violation of their sovereign rights and security. They also believe that the law allows Texans authorities to discriminate against anyone who is or has the appearance of being Latino. After SCOTUS's after SCOTUS allowed the law to continue and kicked it down to the Fifth Circuit, SB4 was blocked, pending arguments on its merits. But not to be deterred, Governor Abbott said Texas can still use trespassing laws to stop illegal aliens from entering the United States through the Texan border. At least somebody is doing something. At least. You know, Texas is like our last hope, our last frontier. Now, I have another story for you guys. Now, this is going to be the best story of this whole list. And I hope you guys are ready for this. If you guys are drinking anything, you might want to get a refill right now before we get into this story. If you're eating something, you might want to take a quick break to gather some more of whatever you're eating. Let's take a 30-second break to get whatever you need, have a quick bathroom break, go wash your hands, go have a cigarette. Well, you don't have time to have a cigarette. It's not going to be that long. But take a minute to gather yourselves. Let's all breathe and exhale. Inhale, exhale, because what's coming next is a story that might make some laugh, might make some cry. Some of you may get angry. Yakub is having a drink right now. Okay, you know what? Have one for me. Have one for me. Because, I'll take an air break. Exactly. We need to breathe in and breathe out because what's coming next is a bunch of yes, Samael. Yes, I know you smoke, so I wish I could give you a cigarette break, but just take an air break. Just breathe. It'll feel like a cigarette. Just breathe fast, like, and then that feels like a cigarette. Okay, there you go. All right, are you guys ready? Let's start. Our next article. An illegal alien that encouraged other illegals to squat was found and arrested. If you guys don't know, illegal aliens have been having conversations about saying how they can come into this country and squat in your home. Your home. You look around in the place that you're at right now. I'm looking around in my home. I don't see any illegal aliens, but apparently they believe that they have the right to squat in our properties, in American homes, because Americans ain't gonna do S. Okay, here we go. Venezuelan illegal alien Leonel Moreno was finally arrested in Ohio by ICE. After posting squatting tips on TikTok and encouraging other illegal aliens to invade American homes, you come into our country illegal. And not only do you have the gall to come into our nation and be amongst us, but then you have the idea, this very special slash retarded idea that you can come into Americans' hard earned homes where they oh my god, they pay taxes on a lot of taxes, and a lot of those taxes going to you, your baby mama, and your 8 kids. But no, then you have the idea that you can come into our homes while being an illegal, while not supposed to be here, and then take our properties. I just love the entitlement. I just love it. This is why I say, everybody, stay armed. Stay armed. Every American citizen is the military of America because of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment makes every U.S. citizen a part of the military. We are the military, and we need to use our weapons for good. And part of the things that are good is protecting your own. Protect your own. I don't know. I don't really care about these castle laws. I don't care about any of that. I don't care if I have the right to do it or if I don't. If you come on my property and I didn't invite you here, you will be shot. I don't care. I'll face the consequences later. Let's continue with the article. ICE has been reportedly looking for 27-year-old Moreno since he crossed the Texas border illegally, of course, back in 2022. Moreno was caught and released. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we are not fishing. Okay. When we catch these aliens, we are not fishing. Okay. I want to go back to catch and fillet. Catch and fillet, not catch and release. Anyway, okay. I got it. I'm back. Moreno was caught and released under the Alternative Detention Program, which lets illegals go free while officials track their movements until their trial date. Trump brought this up one time. He brought up this little program, and even Trump said himself, any illegal alien that goes to trial or shows up at their trial date is stupid. He's dumb. Why would you do that? Obviously, if you're already in the nation, if you're already in the country, why would you go to the trial date? You just skip it all and just continue to live. Duh. But anyway, Moreno was caught and released under the Alternatives Detention Program, which lets illegal aliens go free while officials track their movements until their trial date. Moreno was due in court in November of 2022, but you guys can guess the rest. Just like Trump said, what idiot would show up to court after you're already in the country that you're trying to come into? Of course, he didn't show up. On Tuesday, Moreno posted a video of himself crying while holding his son. Oh, he's breeded. Wonderful. He's breeded. Of course. Soon, first thing they do when they get here is breed. It's called an anchor. It's an anchor because of this idea that Americans have that if you're born in America, you're automatically a citizen. We need to take away birth citizenship. This is not working because these people are taking advantage of this. All right, let's continue with the article. On Tuesday, Moreno posted a video of himself crying while holding his son. He yelled, "I'm in danger of death in the U.S. I need protection. I am being persecuted. My account has been blocked." He also said that he was receiving threats from powerful people and begged for help. Moreno's incarceration was a blow to his wife and child, who had been denied visitation. Veronica Torres cried outside of a long-stay hotel in a Columbus suburb in Ohio. She said, "We don't know where they took him, and I can't see him," she said to a reporter. ICE revealed that her husband is being held at the Jaguar County. I don't know how to say the county, guys. I think it says Jaguar, whatever, Ohio. Um, Moreno is being held at the Jaguar County Jail. Her husband isn't getting much sympathy, not even from his fellow Venezuelans, for his actions. He routinely bragged about living off the government handouts and begging for cash. He made comments like, I didn't cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave. Shoo. Ho, ho. Ooh. You know what? Guys, pride. My lion pride. This illegal immigrant said he did not cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave. Okay? He is not a slave. He's not. The government needs to support him. All of us working, we need to make sure that he has all his necessities. We do. He didn't come here to work. Okay? He's here to enjoy the land of milk and honey. Except the milk is spoiled and the honey isn't sweet, right? I didn't cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave. I came to the US to mark my territory. At least he's honest. He taunted hardworking Americans for working like slaves and making less than him. Good riddance and safe travels, Moreno, says the article. Now, next. This is our last one, I believe. This is our last story, okay? Yeah, this is our last one. All right. A bomb squad, a secret service. Oh, sorry. Let me just start the article because the title doesn't make sense if I read it. So I'll just start with the article. It was all hands on deck in support of the White House's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, this past Monday, after the roof of his home was showered with manure this past Monday. The manure was tossed out of a car, which triggered the security response from federal and DC officials. While officials would not confirm that the advisor's home was the target, Sullivan is reportedly in the crosshairs of the far-left organization named the People's Forum, which has labeled Sullivan as a war criminal and organized a protest against him. As for the cleanup, that, of course, was the responsibility placed on the city. I am finished. We have seen and heard and enjoyed and hated Larry's list. Everybody, please give Larry a thank you for his list. Thank you so much, Larry. This was, yes, Dr. M. I'm not going to say it. Yes, exactly. Guys, sometimes I see that the news just gets worse and worse. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just gets worse and worse. But all right. Are you guys ready? I am going to open up the stream to whoever wants to come speak and get in a word about what happened or the news, or if you just want to taunt me and make fun of me and whatever, you can do that too. That is not what I was trying to do. I was not trying to share the screen. I was trying to give you guys the link. Okay, here we go. I got the link. Now I'm going to put it in the chat. So mods, please remember to post the link whenever you remember to do so. Yes, please repost the link whenever you remember to do so. Anybody who wants to come up, please feel free to do so now. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is when we're talking about culture, like this whole stream started with me talking to you guys about the lady, right? And how girls and women are constantly talking about not wanting to be controlled by men, and me understanding why men control women and their sexuality, why women's sexuality has been controlled since the beginning of time. And I understand completely why, because now that women aren't controlled, we see the results. We see children who are not taken care of. We see the families that have been destroyed. We see the amount of women who are willing and able and excited to show their rear ends on the internet, on the worldwide internet, for nothing, for almost nothing. You see women out there doing this for nothing. They're not even getting paid, but yet they have their R's online everywhere. Instagram, only simps, everywhere. These people are doing this, these women are doing this for the love of attention, the attention that they didn't get from their faja. Now they're asking for it from random men. This is the reason why women have been controlled by men for so long. And I believe that we need to return to the natural order of life. This is the natural order of life. Men need to be controlling women. And I don't care what anyone says or who disagrees with me, because life was better when women were controlled. Tell me it wasn't. Tell me it wasn't. We have older people here on this chat. All the people who are older than 50, tell me life was not better back when women were actually controlled. Come on now. All right. Hello, Pickle. Welcome in, Pickle. Welcome in, Dr. M. How are you all doing?
Not
Doing
too
great.
bad.
How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you so much. Pickle, let me start with you. What do you have to say about any of the things that I presented to you today, or is there anything else that you wanted to bring up?
Well, I mean, just starting with your recent question about, being over 50. I mean, I think it started after World War II. And really, it's an economic thing, because when we had women in the workplace while the men were off fighting war, they got used to having two incomes after the men came back. So they had plenty of money to spend. That's how that generation got ahead. But the economy adjusted. You look at how things are priced. They're not priced on how much it takes to make a product. They're priced on how much they can get for it. So that extra economy disappeared. You had to have two working, family members just to pay the house note and keep up with, insurance and all these extra things. I mean, the economy constantly adjusts. So we can't go backwards. I mean, unless we have more control over the economy, which we have none, and the government is now refusing to change the interest rate to actually combat the inflation that we've got going on.
I mean, I see what you're saying, especially about the things that we're not being charged for the price to make certain things, like homes, for example. We're not being charged for the price it took to make that home. We're being charged for whatever they can get for that home. You know what I mean? For whatever value that people think is worth it. Also, but the other thing is that manufacturing is no longer here in America. We don't have manufacturing, and I think that was the main thing that dropped us down under nations like China and India and a couple others, is manufacturing. We used to be the manufacturing capital of the world. Everything used to come from America. Now nothing comes from America, and along with that left the work ethic of the nation. And you're right, ever since World War II, I think it was, when women were put in the workforce, ever since then, I mean, that's where America really messed up, is having women in the workforce. But we needed women at that time. That was a necessity. But women had a taste of having their own money, and they craved and wanted more. And now, I mean,
I
what do
mean, the
you say?
people aren't to blame. And to a certain degree, I guess the government isn't to blame. We have a system. I mean, we're capitalist, but I think even the communist countries are capitalist. I think capitalism is everywhere on this planet. I mean, we're all dealing with currency. It's not like, you know, all of our food and housing and everything is handed to us. Even in a communist country, you still work, you still have favoritism if you're in a sought after, position, or you have political allies or whatever.
Well,
It's
yeah, Pickle,
still,
but Pickle, currency is not what makes a nation socialist or communist or capitalist. You know that, right? It's not currency that makes it that. It is the
I
distribution
do. And
of
there's a difference between, political regime and, your economic status, if you will. But what I'm saying is that the promise that was given to the people, the proletariat, when they overthrew in Russia, was that people were going to own the means of production. But you had Stalin, was brutal, but before him, Lenin, who was one of the architects, along with Trotsky, they made all these promises. Lenin died with syphilis in the penthouse of a hotel in Switzerland. I mean, that man was catered to. Was that the dream when they overthrew the Russian royal family? Was that what was promised? These countries, even though they have the name of socialist, they're still led by the elites. So the idea of the utopia can't exist because we're not advanced enough. We're too greedy. I mean, every individual wants to own whatever it is that they want to own, whether it's your fancy shoes or your fancy car or your fancy house. You're going to compare your wealth to the person that lives next door. And you're not going to be happy with what you have when someone else shows up with something that you desire. It comes down to the
Capitalism,
commandments in the Bible.
but you understand that capitalism, to me, seems like the more natural way of humanity is to let everyone do with what's theirs or what they've earned as they please instead of forcing them to give to their neighbor. You know what I mean? That's what socialism and communism is supposed to be about, sharing with the neighbor. Nobody is selfish, nobody is greedy because everybody shares, and that makes less work for everyone because everyone is working. But that's not, it's not
But you
the
can't
natural way of life.
legislate. You can't legislate morality. You can't force people with legislation to be giving and caring people. That comes from the heart. That comes from the community. And the government has completely overreached, but there's no controls on capitalism. The free society, the free capitalism, that they say, there's a lot of hate towards communism. I'm not saying that communism was great. I'm saying it's horrible. But that's because of the way that it's implemented. Because they
There's
I
no other
think
way
kids.
to implement that, Pickle. There's no other way. The only way to have that system is through the fear of incarceration or the fear of death. And that's the only way to force people to be this moral, share it with your neighbor and all that.
Well, I mean, that's in our society as well. What I'm saying is that we can't. I just brought up the utopia, and we can't achieve that because of who we are as human beings, the way we live, where our society is built. But my point is that during the McCarthy trials and the Red Scare, we turned communism into this evil word. I think kids in college today are taught that socialism isn't bad, which in practical use, yes, it is bad because only the communists are really using socialism, and it's not implemented how Marx was talking about, like, let's get everyone what they need according to their needs. It's still a fascism. you know we'll give them the illusion of elections, but they're not real elections. And we're at that point too. A lot of people are saying, oh, Trump's going to just completely win this election. It's just so one-sided. I have to say that they're going to do more of what they did in 2020. They're just going to do more of it.
We know. But the thing is, America is more aware of it than they were before. And the hatred for Trump has diminished. Well, not diminished, it's decreased. Let's just say that.
It's been at least partially replaced by hatred for what Biden's policies have done to the economy and our
That's
lives and
right.
our borders.
That's right. Let me hear the chat for a second because Irish Frank said something that I believe is what I was trying to say, but he said it in better words. He said it's human nature to compete against one another. Capitalism is human nature and it's perfectly moral. What's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. That's the American way.
It is, but there's purchasing power. It's not a fair system. What we're living under is not a fair system. Those who
Life
have,
isn't fair. Life isn't
no, it's
fair and it's
not.
not meant to be fair.
It's not fair. I'm not saying that it's fair or that it should be fair. What I'm saying is that the American dream is an illusion. The fact that you can work hard and you can make the best decisions, you can sit there and and eat healthy, but frugally, and save your money and invest it. And then along comes Bernie Madoff. I don't think that the government spends time going after criminal elements. I think they go after whatever makes them money.
Question, Pickle. Are you American?
Yes.
Were you born in America?
Yeah, I'm a Texan.
Texan. Yes, Texas. But still, even as such, I am a person who is from a family that we are not Americans. We did not come from America, and I lived in outside of the United States for half of my life. I'm telling you, the American dream exists, and I live it. It's not a fantasy, and it's not something that you say. I think Americans believe that it doesn't exist because you are in it. You're in it, so you don't see it. But we see it, and this is what we strive for. And you know what? Immigrants are living the American dream while Americans are living the American nightmare. Immigrants are actually enjoying the fruits of this nation and the wonderful things that America offers because we come here with a different mentality. We come here with a mentality of work hard and save and so on and so forth. Americans, because you're born here, you don't see the world the way that we do. And I'm telling you all that as people, you guys know I love you. I love Americans. I don't love you personally, but I'm saying I love Americans and I love America. So when I say this, I'm saying this from a point of you guys don't see it the way we do. You guys are lazy. You're lazy and you're used to the good treatment. You're used to the good life. You're like those spoiled kids who grew up under Elon Musk. You're Elon Musk kid and you don't even know it. We are not. We are the homeless guy's kid.
Well, you got to be careful about painting with such a broad brush because you don't know all of our backgrounds or what we've dealt with.
Pickle, you just said the American dream doesn't exist. You just painted a broad brush. What I'm
I said
saying
it's an
is,
illusion
I'm
because it
refuting
lacks
your point.
controls.
I'm
It
refuting your
lacks.
point about the illusion. It's not an illusion.
It is in a way, and let me explain. We have two political parties. There's no shot for a third independent party. I think that we should. I really think that we should get rid of the political machine, and I don't see a way to do it. But you have the parties are simply there to raise funds, and they have to sell, to these people that are donating massive amounts of money. They're giving control over our legislation to these folks who have the money to throw at them. So we're given the illusion of having two choices, one of two choices, choose the lesser evil, whatever. Whereas those people who were elected, they're not beholden to us, the voter. Trump, the only reason that I support Trump is because I felt like when he talks to people, he's listening to what people want. And he actually tried to make some of his campaign promises come true. And that is not what our government wants. That's why they hate him so much, is because he was pushing to get things accomplished, whereas our established Congress is a do-nothing legislative body. They pass
I've talked
everything to
about
the
this.
executive.
I've talked about this often about the illusion of choice on the political side. Now that is something I can agree with you on, but that still doesn't explain your point to saying that American dream is an illusion. What does the political illusion have to do with the American dream?
Okay, do you believe that there is a time limit to an empire?
Yes.
Okay. So as I see it with our legislation, it's a tightening of the loopholes. It's to close off the ability of people to change their strata as far as, they're moving from lower class to middle class to upper class. It's like when someone invents a widget or develops a website or something that really hits big and makes them money, they've pioneered a path to becoming one of the wealthy. They immediately turn around and shut the door behind them. It's like I've seen this in multiple facets throughout my life. People protect what's theirs, and rightfully they should, but to the detriment of people around them. I'm not saying that you should give me what's yours, but don't block me from moving forward. And I
Do
see
you think
people.
that makes the American dream not a real thing because people get successful and they don't drag everybody else along with them?
I'm not saying drag me along with. I'm saying that I should be rewarded for the efforts that I put forward. And I'm not being, completely negative about my path through life. I'm just saying that there are many times where I walk into a situation, I try to make the best choices that I can and to move forward, invest however I can. And then I see how the stock market's played, how, they'll short a stock, or they'll um, invest in a way that, how do you make money off of stocks? Do you believe that stocks generate money, or do you believe that it transfers that money?
Neither. But how does that have to do? What does that have to do with? I want to get other people to. We have other people on the
Okay.
panel. Does
Yeah.
anybody else want to comment on?
Yeah. How exactly do you figure the American dream is an illusion when there's new millionaires every day? I don't understand this point. Like, look, the illusion of choice. So we have one of two political parties to choose. There are lots of subgroups in those two political parties. You don't have to say I'm firmly a Republican or firmly a Democrat, and that still has not very much to do with the American dream, because I mean nobody's stopping you from developing a new product or service or working for yourself. So I just don't see your point that the American dream is an illusion. It's not. People do it every day. You pick up a book, you read, you educate yourself, you go to college, you do whatever you have to do, and the truth be told, there are just people out there that are better decision makers. Some people are lucky. Some people are more educated. Whatever the case may be, nobody is stopping you from achieving your goals. Read a book, get audiobooks. There's lots of stuff you can do. I see people do it every day. All the people that I've grown up with since I was 14, 15 years old, they work for themselves. And all of those people are successful. They've built businesses, they've failed, they built new businesses, they failed, they started new businesses, they failed, and they kept trying over and over and over until they get it. It's not that, I mean, it's pretty simple, bro. You just keep doing it until you get it.
Here, let me. I understand what both sides are saying. With today's scope, I think it depends on where you're at. If you're in Florida, Texas, or somewhere where it's more friendly for you to start businesses, sure. But if you're in California, New York, or somewhere, especially California, where they find out, oh, you're the middleman, you want to start a new business, we're gonna tax you into oblivion before you can even get a foot off the off the ground, because there's bigger chains. Depending on what you want to do, there's bigger businesses out there that are that already have the politicians in their pockets, and they don't want competition, any competition. So I understand what Andy's saying to a point. And also with the politics, yes, we look at, you have a two-party system, you got third parties, other parties that um are not as big, but they don't get a lot of donations. And the two main parties, they argue, but whenever another party comes along and looks like they're gaining steam, they will double team that party and squash it before it can really do anything. So I definitely understand what he's saying.
Okay, but look at what happened with the Tea Party, right? So that was like a viable third option during when Obama was running for office, right? They came up with the Tea Party. And then what happened was it got co-opted. Those people didn't stop believing in the values of the Tea Party. They just decided, okay, we're going to vote Republican and still try and get the local politics in order. So even though you might have a choice between Democrat or Republican, locally, you can still vote or pick for whoever you want. It doesn't have to be hardline left or hardline right. I mean, generally speaking, when we're trying to pick a leader, it's just easier to pick one of those two teams, because idealistically speaking and ideologically speaking, they're going to fall somewhere closer to left or right, whatever the case may be. If you can control your politics locally, it doesn't matter if it's like people talk about left and right as if it's a choice. It's, you don't have to pick one or the other. You either agree more with one or agree more with the other, or fall somewhere in the middle. Just because you pick a leader that falls on either the left or the right doesn't mean that's the choice that you have to stick with forever, because not everybody votes hardline left or hardline right when it comes to like representatives and what they're doing in their day to day and what laws they pass, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to fall somewhere in the middle most of the time. And so
Yeah, I feel the uninformed.
where that becomes more important is with your local politics. Now with that, you have a lot more a lot higher resolution of the control of your local politics. Federally, I mean, it's either going to be Republican or Democrat. Okay, you might be a Green Party, a Tea Party, whatever the case may be. You can still vote for those policies locally. You don't. I mean, generally speaking, federal politics don't really change that much.
Yes, at a local level, I agree with you. That is the path to more influence, at least in your daily life. As far as picking a party, what I've seen, and I've watched a lot of this. It's the quiet guy. Like I watched the Republican debate in 2016 when you had 15 guys on there. Rand Paul just was ignored, and it's because he's kind of mousy. He's kind of quiet. I like his message, but they're going to look at the clown show. They're going to look at the guy waving his arm and screaming.
He was not ignored. I think Ron Paul influenced most of the politics that us people that consider us more like center or center right. He's influenced most of the politics that we live in. He's influenced Timcast. He's influenced people on the left. He's influenced. So we didn't vote for him and get him in the office. Okay, but his way of thinking is still inside all of us to this day. Haven't forgot anything at all.
But I mean, as far as the audience and as far as the support of the Republican Party and what's going to win the election, they're going to look at the demagogue, the flashy guy.
But what does that have to do with you? Why are you worried about other people? What does it have to do with you and how you vote?
No, I'm talking about the country. I'm not talking about myself.
Well, you are a part of the country.
I'm trying to find a path to that American dream, okay? And not just personally. I'm saying that for the country, how do we change the system? And I agree that it's done locally and that it has to somehow move its way up past the local level through the states. But the only way that we can change the legislation, the stranglehold that the Congress has, is that it's going to come down to, like, how do we get term limits? Congress isn't going to vote term limits for themselves. It has to come from the 2/3 majority of the states.
Yeah, and they get their marching orders from us. And the way that we do that is by holding shows and webcasts and stuff like this, the culture.
Right.
We're about them. We need to worry about us.
Well,
it's like
the
something
line
that
of 3, 4, 5, 6 through 23 are already being planned out. Because, like you said, detox, it goes through us, and they know that. That's why they're in bed with Google and YouTube and whatnot to try to silence us before we can really get any steam going.
Yeah, but that's why we got to keep fighting back. That's why we have sessions like this where we talk and share ideas and try and influence culture. That's why we have this, because they're going to censor us, no doubt, but that's not going to stop the movement. I mean, if we don't get it this 4 years, we'll get it the next 4 years. If we don't get the next 4 years, we'll get it the next 4 years. Like Trump didn't win this last election. We didn't go anywhere. We are still here, talking the same mess that we were talking last year. We didn't forget about any of these issues. Trust.
That's
it won't be
true.
forgotten.
But I mean, how much of the country gets destroyed in those 4 years that we don't get back, or how many people get brainwashed in those 4 years? That's the thing that I always worry about. I want to
Yeah.
hear the chat really quickly. Irish Frank, thank you, Irish Frank, for being here. It's the first time I've seen your name here, but welcome. He says more political parties means more money grabbers from the taxpayer. Government role needs to be reduced. Less interference in private citizens' lives, and term limits are needed. Thank you, Irish Frank. Zelich says, and from the looks of this current election, a third option seems to be on the rise, because it's true that Trump is making his own party. Trump isn't really a Republican, and he sure isn't a Democrat. He's something else. And I think that is the rise of a different party in itself. More of like conservatives, MAGA, you can call us MAGAs or what have you. Keela says it sounds more like slavery. I think you're talking about overtaxation. He says overtaxation without representation means the American dream is dead. D14 says the government regulates government regs and lobbying stops a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors. That's a lot for me to say as a English second speaking English. Whatever, you guys understand. English isn't my first language, so. Keela says we should be rewarded, not taxed into oblivion. I get you, Pickle. What do you guys think about what the chat is saying?
I agree.
I mean, I agree with it some way, but I just don't like the whole doom and gloom. Like, we lost this and the American dream is dead, and what are we going to do if they don't vote the way we want them? It's like, bro, that's what you going to give up? Like,
well, I don't think anybody's talking about giving up.
No.
Even if one believes that that the American dream is dead, I mean, it can be resuscitated. It's not a, it's as long as there's somebody around who believes it can come back. I personally, I don't believe that it is dead. I think the spirit of it is there. I just think that we need to, as a country, we need to stop being lazy and just readily believe what these politicians are saying, because we've gotten so lazy and just I don't want to say dumb, but they're not even hiding what they're doing anymore. They just, every 4 years they come out, they tell the same lies, and nobody's bothering to look back and say, well, dang, they've been saying this for the past 20, 30, 40, years, and nothing's changed. And
yeah, the thing about that though is that, like, if you look on the left, the people in these institutions, they got involved emotionally in college and high school, and then they went to college, they got their education, they joined the system, all based off emotions. You see, that's where I think, if you want to say the American dream is on life support, I would agree with you 100% on there. But to say it's dead or an illusion, I don't agree with that, because when you put that aura or energy out there in the world, people just say, well, why even try and save it? If it's gone, it's gone. If it's dead, you can't bring it back to life. Now, I think
that wasn't my point.
Hold on. I think where we would succeed is if we kind of like learned how to talk about these conservative issues or like center right issues in an emotional manner, instead of, well, it makes more sense to vote for 5% rather than 3%. Like, nobody cares about any of the percentages. They want to know about how this is going to affect their family, their friends, their mortgage, their car payment, the food on the table. I think if conservatives could learn some marketing tricks, that would go a hell of a lot farther into resuscitating the American dream, because you guys need to be able to talk to people on an emotional level to the same extent that people on the left have. They're masters of that stuff. They're masters of marketing. We got to kind of adopt some of their traits and then put our policy with those marketing tactics, and then we could become 10 times more powerful, because our message is pure. Family. It's mostly about family is what we care about the most.
Can you give an example of how they're successful on the left as far as reaching them emotionally, other than their hatred? Like, they're to me, they're spreading. It may be more of a Republican thing to be spreading fear, but the left is just about hate and trying to convert us all into tribes.
To answer your question, yeah, but they do that using emotional manipulation. So let's a prime example, right? These kids are saying, oh, but a doctor in a medical journal said that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. Well, yes, they are writing that in medical journals, but the only reason why they're writing that stuff in medical journals is because an activist is writing the medical journal. And that was somebody that was educated in college, became an activist / journalist, and decided to take medical classes. And then all of a sudden they're kind of injecting their emotional politics into the science. So that's one example of how they're successful into pushing their politics into like that's one example of how they're successfully using emotional manipulation to influence the medical field. It's supposed to be the other way around. The science is supposed to inform the politics, But what you're seeing is the inverse of that. These people went to college not to become medical students. They went to college to become activists who work in the medical field. It's not the same thing.
You have people, like, well, anyway, he was on Joe Rogan, and he's sitting there saying that it's a good thing, the transition, and yes, they should probably figure out how to have, someone who's transitioned in sports and give them that opportunity. And I'm like, that's insane.
You
And
talking
how would
about,
this respected scientist?
are you talking about what you call it, ruin? Adam ruins it all, or whatever? That guy or the other one?
No, I'm talking about the man of color who's a respected scientist, and he just completely lost me on that. I don't like him anymore.
You talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Oh yeah. It was embarrassing, bro. Like, to see someone of such esteem, right? He's always kind of been like a leftist, but like a quiet leftist. More so in the past like 5 or 6 years, he's come out as like a raging leftist where he's letting his emotions dictate his science, and that was a total disappointment to see that. But I didn't expect.
Don't you think it's not that he's been paid off or anything? I think that he has become a personality and he fears being canceled.
That could be very true. Yeah, that could be very, very possible. Highly possible.
I want to show what the chat is saying because I can't have my chat be ignored. American Patriot said Pugniti is the answer. Right. The other thing I saw was Samael said, bring manufacturing and oil production back to the states, close the borders, invest in trade schools, repeal no-fault divorce, and get back on the gold standard. Doc D-Day says, the right has to be as ruthless as the left. You can crap on the left all you want, but they get stuff done. And I agree. I've already said that too. At least they get stuff done. Their tactics work. They use war tactics in precision form. Their war tactics and propaganda tactics work. Whether we hate it or not, it works and it's effective. And people are easily swayed by what they do or what they say, or even their threats of cancellation, or their threats of labeling you something that you're not, like a racist, their threats of taxing you to oblivion. All the things that they do are precision. Like I said, with another thing, with the using war tactics and saying things like who's an ally. Ally is a war term that people at war use, and this is something that the left uses constantly. You're an ally, this person's an ally, using labels and grouping together to say, oh, you're on our side and you're not on our side. Like, if you do one thing that's not approved by us, then you're not on our side anymore. Or labeling people as good and safe and not good and safe, like white men who are Christian and straight are not safe and everybody else is safe. Their tactics work and they are super effective.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like their language tricks, and I mean all of it is like kind of like, not, I wouldn't say mind control, but it's a form of emotional manipulation to the fullest extent. The thing about it is, one, it's extremely effective. That's why I've been singing this song since like for the past 4 years. You guys got to read this book by Manning Johnson called Color, Communism, and Common Sense. He breaks down every leftist tactic, where they came from, why they came, how they're operating, the tricks they used, and he names them in a list from A to Z, every single tactic that they use. If there was a way to reverse engineer that to do like some good, where it's like, who's going to be against family, right? Like, if you could use some of their tactics to either, one, combat it when you see it so you can identify it, or two, adopt it and use it as your own, kind of like how the Chinese steal all our stuff and then use it against us. If we were able to do that for like some genuine good, like protecting your family or educating your kids or homeschool or whatever the case may be, I think that whole agenda would be, the whole, center right and right agenda would be way more successful, because they are 1000% effective, man. When you get the hearts and minds of children, it's kind of like it takes a long time to undo that wiring. It's hardwired into them to believe that what they're doing is the right thing, even if they're destroying the planet, right? Like, I'll give you a perfect
They
example.
believe it's right because they've been brainwashed, Detox, to believe that that is right. That is what the book 1984 did to the people as well. You remember, everything that's for the government or the cause is correct, and anything that you do for yourself is not right or selfish or what have you. You're doing something wrong. And
Yeah.
also, what is it called? What is it? Detox and Larry and Pickle. What is it called again? Help me out. Where it's CRT, is it?
Oh yeah,
Critical race.
race theory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Critical race theory.
Critical
Right.
race
Critical
theory,
race theory is super effective in labeling a something as the enemy and everybody else who's not that something as good. And
Yeah.
that's a really crazy thing to do because you're putting people in two groups opposing one another for one thing that a person cannot control. That's being white.
Yeah, and the thing is, racism is supposed to be against all that, right? But then the thing that you see is that they're programming everybody with racism, and then they have like this scorecard, this imaginary scorecard. Okay, so you guys did this to us for 200 years. We owe you guys 200 years of oppression. What they're doing with this
That's
language
right.
is they're creating a paradigm in these people's head that they're living in a system of oppression. It's like now you're putting these people in the mode that like they're in a video game that they have to beat, but it's not a video game because you can actually die. The
You
police are
make
actually
them
outside
believe.
hunting you. Like these
You're
people are
right.
really trying to kill you. It's crazy. Like you're making
You make them
one of the things.
believe. They make them
Yeah,
believe that they're in some kind of a war and they're somehow these soldiers for good.
yeah, that's why all these kids have
Sorry.
anxiety. They do the same thing with race politics. They do the same thing with the economy. They do the same thing with the food, your diet. They do the same thing. What they do is they create a state of panic and anxiety in the kids from a very young age. Climate change in 5 years, the whole world's going to end. Or if we vote for Trump, everyone's going to be slaves. Or if the like they do this, they put all of these seeds of anxiety in these kids' head. So the kid, when they wake up in the morning, they have a sense of fear. I need to do something for this fear. And then when you look, what do you see them teaching in college is activism tactics. So they're
That's right.
giving you they're creating the problem and then giving you the solution. How convenient. You see a problem, here's a solution. And when
That's
you
right.
look, you have thousands and thousands of leftist
Detox.
cause in the machine.
Detox.
It's like,
If you don't stop, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute you. I am gonna exercise the mute button because what you do is it almost seems like you're about to stop, but then you just add a comma instead of a period. You just turn every period turns into a comma, and then no, Detox. Jesus, you are not alone here. You have 4 other people on the panel with you. 4 other talking, intelligent people. Let someone else speak. I'm
girl, I
sorry.
was gonna say one thing else last. Go ahead.
No, no, it's
Come on.
always one other thing all the time. And now he muted himself. It's always one. Okay, all right. Samuel, I wanted to address something in a private chat. Guys, don't worry about Detox. That's my cousin. That's just me, arguing with him with my cousin. But I wanted to ask you guys. Samuel, you sent me something in the chat regarding Keela. What is it? Oh, sorry,
So
Samuel.
I sent that.
yeah, no, well, I put
Well,
it in the
Samuel
private chat
sent it.
before
He
she
sent
opened up the panel.
Okay.
So that's apparently a link to one of Officer Tatum's videos that had to do with the topic you were discussing earlier in the stream. I'm spacing on which one it was.
Okay. Okay, so what I'll
I think
do
it's like,
is I will put that. Go ahead.
I'm not 100%. I haven't watched the whole thing all the way through, so I'm not 100% sure what it is.
It's
Okay.
probably about that immigrant because he did a video on that immigrant getting arrested too.
Okay. Yeah, Larry, you
That
did tell
sounds
me that
right.
there was a video of it.
It was
Okay, what
funny
I'll
too. He was
do.
crying. He had boogers coming out of his nose.
Oh, okay. What I'll do is I will get everyone off the panel, starting with Detox because he talked too much. And then I will play the video. I'm sorry, cuz you do talk too much, though. I mean, gosh, you can't even come up for air. Do you
Girl, bye.
breathe?
Girl, bye.
What do you mean, girl? Bye.
Good job,
No.
Andy Pickle.
Detox, I left a
Thank
question
you.
for you in the private chat.
Oh,
All right, I'll check it out.
do you want me to expose that question?
No, it was just something somebody in the chat was asking for.
Okay.
I got
All right.
you. I got you. I got you.
Okay. Okay, guys, deal. I am going to stop now. Get off my channel, please, everybody.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here, Pickle. Don't worry. Most of what I say is all love and joking, so don't pay any attention to me when I'm being rude. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So here we go. Who else is still here? Who is this? Oh, that's Dr. M. And who is left? That's Detox. Oh, it's my cousin. Okay. There is a video that has been sent to us that Keela wants us to watch. So I will pull it up really quickly and then I will let you guys be free. Let me pull it up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you all and we can watch this together. Okay, video share. Share. Sharing is caring. And here we go. All right, let's pull full screen and let's see. Oh, this is a Venezuelan guy. Oh, all those beautiful teeth he has. All those teeth would be knocked out if he came into my house. That is just such a shame. Such a shame.
Invadir una casa en United States.
A few moments later.
Estoy en peligro de muerte en United States.
Listen. Was that snot falling out of his nose? Oh my gosh. Usually you would expect that out of the baby. The baby. And listen, I must admit, no matter how much I dislike this guy, that baby is a cute baby. That baby is just squeezable and pinchable and just so adorable. And it's a shame that this is its papa. This is its papa. I am so sorry for this baby. But let's start the crying over. He's crying and saying that he's in danger. So here we go.
Estoy en peligro de muerte en United States. Necesito protección en Estados Unidos.
Don't cry now, bro.
Okay, that's a cool intro, Officer Tatum. All right, here we go.
Remember this fool? You know, let me say this, and I don't mean no offense to anybody, but I don't even like Spanish. I think I think Spanish is the ugliest language in that human beings speak.
See what you won't do. First of all, Tatum, don't be a hater, okay? Don't be a hater. How dare he? Out of all the things to attack, I understand attacking these people, but don't attack the Spanish language. You have no idea how beautiful that language is if you only hear it from certain people. That language is a beautiful language. Listen, when I speak it, it sounds beautiful. Okay, so stop it. Anyway, go ahead, Officer Tatum. Let's hear what you got to say. Oh, man.
Speak. Nothing against people that speak Spanish. When I hear it, I'm like, what are they even saying? This language is not, it's not like French or some other languages or even.
Screw the French, first of all. Screw the French and their language. They sound stupid and their language is written in a form that is not spoken in. No, French is way worse than Spanish, but go on.
Swahili or something, you know, like some African dialect. Like Spanish is like, maybe the Mexican Spanish is different than Spanish from Spain.
He's very right. Mexican Spanish is very much ugly. The way that, I'm sorry, Mexicans, but the way they speak Spanish is very butchered, is very much rancho style, which is like kind of like country style. If you could put the countryest accent from Alabama into Spanish, that's what Mexican Spanish sounds like, in case you guys don't know.
I mean, it's just that whole language. When I hear people in sports, soccer, Espanol, it's just Telemundo. I just can't. Anyway, on top of that, this fool is threatening and saying that illegals should go and invade people's houses. Remember this guy? I'll play a quick clip.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States.
I thought about invading houses in the United States.
Ya que me enteré que existe una ley.
I found that there's a law.
Que si una casa no está habitada podemos expropiarla.
If you inhabit the house, you can seize it.
Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la.
All right, I can't even listen to that. It sounds so.
No, listen, Officer Tatum. The way he's speaking is very ugly. Okay, the reason why you don't like the way he's speaking is because the way he's speaking in whatever language is ugly, and the face that he has, he looks like one of those aliens. Do you guys remember that movie I Am Legend? You guys remember I Am Legend? He looks like one of the things that the humans turned into after they got sick in I Am Legend. That's what he looks like. The ones that couldn't be seen in the light. That's what he looks like, with those ugly eyes and that ugly nose and then that ugly form of speech. That's the reason why it sounds bad, Officer Tatum. Okay, so no.
Da pica de laca. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Anyway, he said all that, now he crying because they own his head. He talking about invading people's houses instead of going to get a job. Now he crying with his little Chinese baby in his hand. I'm like, how you get something ain't right here. This may not be yours, homeboy. That don't look like you, homeboy.
Sure doesn't.
That look like an Asian baby, homeboy. You better go check with instead of invading somebody's house, you better make sure nobody invading your house. They got you, they out there speaking Spanish to your baby mama. Hung Chung was at your house, bro.
No.
That ain't you, bro.
Wait. When you said they were speaking Spanish to his baby mama, you know what I'm thinking that they were saying? Oh my God. There's been guys who are like Asian and their name is like Hung Lo, first name Hung, last name Lo, or Ding Ding Ling, Mr. Ding Ling, Mr. Ling, but first name is Ding. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, that may have happened to his baby mama, as they say, baby mama. I hate using that term because it sounds so ghetto, but baby mama. Mr. Hung Lo and Ding Ling were talking to your baby mama.
Head shape ain't even the same, bro. He's got a Chinese baby in his hand talking. Anyway, roll the clip.
Estoy en peligro de muerte.
I'm in danger of death in the USA.
En United.
Why you got snot coming out his nose, though, bro? Wipe your nose, bro. Your baby ain't even got snot coming out his nose. Wipe your nose, bro.
Seriously.
I need protection.
Necesito protección en Estados Unidos. Me estás persiguiendo.
I'm sorry to say, this guy sounds retarded. He really does sound retarded. Like, and no offense to retarded people, but this guy really does sound like he has like a speech impediment or something. Like, you know how some people, if you can't hear, you tend to scream because you can't hear yourself. He sounds like that, but in the worst way. Not in a way where you're actually suffering from, one of those disabilities, but he sounds like he's like that just because he wants to be like that, which makes him retarded. That's what I'm talking about. Like, not actual disability, just an idiot, just an actual idiot. And the poor child is so used to this that he's not even stressed. Like, most children would be crying listening to this guy. Most children would be wailing, but this kid is so used to hearing this that he's just, look at him, poor baby.
They're trying to chase
Me ha
me.
bloqueado mi cuenta parece de secciones abiertas en Nueva York.
Y'all can't see it. He's saying my people that know Spanish can see it, but he said my TikTok has been blocked. They're chasing me. I'm being prosecuted in the United States of America. There are open arrests in New York for me. So it's a warrant for his arrest.
Y yo no estoy en Nueva York. Mi gente, necesito que...
Man, ew, I can't take it anymore. I'm not watching this anymore. But let me tell you something. You go do this. Go ahead. I don't know if he's in Texas or not, but go scream like this in the face of a Texan. They'll give you something to cry about. You see all that snot coming out of his nose? Come on now. The poor baby. And the baby's looking cuter than ever. And then this guy. Oh my gosh. The snot. Texans will give you something to cry about. You know what I'm talking about? Stop crying before I give you something to cry about. That kind of thing. That kind of thing. Man, And the government sees this and they still allow these type of people to be around. Anyway, guys. I know. Wines and telenovela, exactly, Dex. Whining and snot and everything. Ugh. Right, exactly, Midnight. The baby is more mature than the father. Ugh. Dude looks like a transformer with all the crying. No, he looks like that thing that on I Am Legend. Check out I Am Legend and look at those the creatures that the humans turned into after they got sick. They lost their hair, right? They lose their hair and they start looking the nose falls down and all that. That's what he looks like. You can't tell me that's not what he looks like. Come on. Anyway, guys, thank you all. We are at the 2 hour mark, so that is my cue to let you all go and you can be dismissed. I'm not going to keep you all here for the rest of the weekend. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday. I hope you all will enjoy your Easter and all the festivities that you guys do. You Christians and everybody, enjoy your Easter. I may attend a Christian church tomorrow. I might ask Rachel to take me with her to her church tomorrow because why not? Why not? I enjoy hearing pastors, preachers, people talk. I love hearing it. So I may go to church tomorrow for Easter. So, I mean, but last time I went to church with Rachel, her pastor, I wasn't even wearing a hijab. I wasn't wearing anything. And he said, "You will not find peace with Allah." And he looked right at me, directly at me. He's like, "You will not find peace with Allah." And that was my first time ever going to this church. I didn't have my hair covered. I didn't have any sign that I was Muslim. But for some reason, I guess because I'm Arab and he probably looked at me and thought, Allah. He said, "You won't find peace with Allah. You won't find peace with Jehovah. You won't find peace with Buddha." That's what you can imagine. This is a black pastor. "You won't find peace with with Muhammad." I was like, huh? Nobody prays to Muhammad. What? He's like, "You won't find peace with Muhammad. You can only find peace with Jesus." I was like, if you only knew that Muslims love Jesus as much as Christians do. I was like, they really think we're the enemy, don't they? These Christians really think Muslims are the enemy. Hilarious. Anyway, but I still might go back to this church tomorrow so he can tell me again, "Ain't gonna find peace with Muhammad and Allah." With the understanding that when Jesus was alive, Jesus did not call God God. He called Jesus Allah. Allah. That is how they said, that's how Jesus called God. So I'm more in line with what Jesus said than saying God. But nonetheless, that's not what matters. What matters is that I am Muslim and he's Christian and their way is right and my way is pathetically wrong. So I I don't mind. I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'll go. I'll go. You know. Anyway, so I might call Rachel about that. Should we call her? Should we ask her about this? Watch, she won't answer my phone call. She calls me and I answer. When I call her, she doesn't answer. How convenient. See, typical liberal. Typical. Very typical liberal. Let me see. Let's just try to give her a call. I bet she won't answer, but let's try. Let's see what she says. Because if we can get a plan for tomorrow, then watch, she doesn't answer for me. I should stop answering for her too. See? And when she calls me, I answer every time. When I call her, she never answers. Wench. Such a wench. Ugh. Anyway. Typical liberal. Typical. That's typical of them. That's just who they are. See? All right. So, I know, right, Zealage, the timing when she called me earlier. I know she did call me a bundle of sticks. The nerve of her. My gosh. All right, then, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope I have entertained you slightly, and I hope you guys have enjoyed your time with me. Please continue on to enjoy the rest of your Saturday festivities, whatever you may be doing tonight. Please enjoy them. Tomorrow is Easter, so I hope you have a good Easter. I guess that's it. I don't think I'll be on tomorrow, but I might be coming back Wednesday or Thursday. And hit my Cash App if you love this show. I know I never push my Cash App, but put my Cash App if you enjoyed this show. I promise I love you back. I love you a long time. Yes, I'm going to eBay because I need some money. Well, listen, if this illegal immigrant can e-bag and people actually help him out, goodness grief. All right, so good night, everyone. I have enjoyed my time with you. I hope to see you all Wednesday or Thursday this week. And with that, I yield my time. Good night, everyone. Hold on. Wait. Guys, I appreciate it. I was joking, but I appreciate it. Beak sent me a Cash App and he said for Juju. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Beak, for the Cash App. I appreciate it. Okay, bye now.